Sammy Hagar got his musical start in the late 60s, singing in local California hard rock bands. He did time with Skinny, Dust Cloud, and Justice Brothers before guitarist Ronnie Montrose approached him and asked Sammy to join his band, Montrose. Sammy accepted the invitation in 1973 and recorded 2 albums with Montrose before going solo in '76. He detoured from his solo career in 1985 when another guitarist invited Sammy to join his wildly successful band. That guitarist was Eddie Van Halen. Hey, this is your Uncle Joe Benson, and Sammy Hagar spent 11 years with Van Halen before intra-band tensions forced his departure in 1996. And of course, in true Sammy fashion, he re-embraced his solo self and immediately started making his own music. And today, we'll hear the Red Rocker's story, from the bust-up with Van Halen to the recent reunion tour to his brand new solo record and tour, Living It Up. Welcome to Sammy Hagar, Off the Record. Sammy Hagar and Van Halen enjoyed 4 platinum albums together before tensions between Sammy and Eddie started to surface during the 1995 Balance Tour.
The Balance Tour got a little screwy in the middle because we had separate dressing rooms for the first time. Why, I don't know. But Eddie and Alex had their dressing room, Michael and I had ours. I'm going, Eddie now had their limo, Michael and I had ours. And it was so that the manager could ride with them and be in their room and talk about things and get things done behind my back. Because I was always saying, are you crazy? We're not doing that. You know, I would have never done the milk commercial. You know, I would have never done a Greatest Hits record. I would have never done the Twister thing. I would have never done the song for the Nissan commercial. You know, I wouldn't have done all that stuff. And he wanted to do it because there was money involved. I mean, he conned those guys into doing it, or else maybe they conned him into it. I don't know what happened, but I wasn't asked to do anything but a Greatest Hits record, and I didn't want to do it. So I'll admit, I was playing tough guy. I wanted to do, I said, please, let's at least do one more record, one more tour. Look, we've had, every album's been #1. Sold 42 million records. Every tour has been sold out in the whole world. Why rely on a Greatest Hits record right now in our career? Why say we're more proud of what we've done than what we can do? When I did my Unboxed record, you know, they're all saying, yeah, well, you did a Greatest Hits record. I'm going, yeah, but I hadn't done a record for 10 years. You guys told me I could never do a solo record as long as I was in this band. So, sure, that's when you do it. You do it when you're over. You don't do it when you're still happening. You're getting ready to still say we're the greatest band in the world. I thought Van Halen was the greatest rock and roll band in the world, you know?
Sammy Hagar and Van Halen parted ways in 1996 after Eddie and Alex Van Halen invited David Lee Roth back into the fold to do a Greatest Hits album. Sammy Hagar.
I just went down in my basement after about 2 weeks. I didn't know what I was going to do when I first got that phone call. So I thought, what do I do here? You know, so I went and buried my head in the sand for about 2 weeks. I was on an airplane with Mickey Hart going over to Maui, and I'd met Mickey twice on an airplane. He comes over and starts talking about, hey, man, you got to put your head in the sand, man. You just got to get back into music. You got to, you know, let all these feelings out on your record, man. You just got to, you know, forget about that. It's done. He goes, man, don't get hung up on it, man. It'll ruin you, man. He goes, when Jerry died, he goes, you know, I could have sat around and talked about how bad it was, how much it could have. He says, man, I jumped right back into it and it saved my life, man. He says, you know, I'm really into music now again, you know. And he had this new record he just made, his mystery box record, and he gave me a copy, and we exchanged phone numbers. He came over to my house. We spent at least 2 weeks together in Maui. Man, we were just having the best time of our lives, and he really got me back into it.
And if that trip to Maui wasn't enough to get Sammy Hagar's creative juices flowing again, a little time at the Cabo Wabo Cantina, hanging with his fans, gave him that final push.
Having Cabo Wabo has been a really, really great thing. You know, for me in my life, that has been the most rewarding aspect of my whole career, is having Cabo Wabo, because for my birthday bash and for parties I throw down there, and you get a couple thousand fans, the hardcores that come from all over the place, and you get to mix with them, you know. And I see them in the streets, and I hang out in front of the place. There's a line, you know, going up around. I go out and hang with people in the line and talk, and, you know, say, hey, we're going to open the gates up pretty soon. And I see that these people are exactly like Sammy Hagar. I make the music, they enjoy it.
Sammy Hagar immediately put together a band upon his return to the Cabo Wabo in 1996. He recruited guitarist Victor Johnson, bassist Mona, and drummer David Lauser.
My band is very much built around rhythm and melody. That's what the band is all about. You know, it ain't about flashed out, fused music that's so advanced musically and technically. It ain't about that. It's about great songs, emotion. I tell my band members, I said, you know, like Victor would make a mistake on guitar, and he'd be, oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm going, no, I don't care if you make a mistake. Just don't ever lose the feel. You know, when you start playing without the feel and without the feeling of the song, that's a mistake to me, and that's when I'll be pissed. You know, you can hit clunkers all night long as long as the feeling is still there, you know, and that's the way I feel. It's all about emotion, and I'm trying to do something very much different than Van Halen. You know, the same energy and the same fun and all that is Van Halen, but it's different.
Now, Sammy released his first post-Van Halen solo record in 1997. It was called Marching to Mars, and he immediately hit the road. Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar was part of Van Halen for 11 years, and that becomes a certain guy, you know, that's not whole. I mean, I was Sammy within the band, but you always had to take a lot of other things into consideration. Old Van Halen songs. It wasn't Sammy Hagar songs. It wasn't pure. It was the new songs Eddie and I would write together. It was half mine, but I was still, you're not whole. I wasn't doing my trip completely, which is great. That's what a band is. A band's supposed to be, you know, a democratic thing where everyone does their thing within the bubble, and you don't go outside the bubble because that means you're trying to separate yourself. So it was tough when all of a sudden without those guys. I was used to standing on stage with Eddie Van Halen for 11 years, knowing when it was time for a guitar solo, I could go over and get a drink of water, no problem. He can hold the audience just fine, you know. Alex's drum solo, we could all go sit in the back and, you know, hang out with some chicks and drink tequila, you know. Well, Alex is going to be up there 20 minutes. Don't worry about it. He knows how to take care of the audience, you know. I was used to that. Suddenly it was just Sammy, and I'm going, well, I used to know how to go out and do a 2-hour show by myself and never leave the stage, you know, because you're paying to see Sammy, so Sammy can't let you down. So, but I didn't know exactly how to do that and what songs would really fit my heart after singing all those Van Halen songs. I hadn't sang Three Lock Boxer, Fall in Love Again, even 55. I hadn't sang them for years. The song Red, I hadn't sang that. I hadn't sang Bad Motor Scooter in 12, 15 years, you know. And Montrose Tunes Rock Candy. So I'm going, I got to get back and find out if my heart is in those songs. And, man, it was about 3 weeks on the road. I was back, man. It was like a blast. I mean, if it wouldn't have been for Van Halen, the little detour from being a solo artist, I'd have been over those songs. I like a real casual leisure thing. If I got to wear a jacket, yeah, I'm unhappy. Sammy don't like that. I like to be barefoot, shorts, T-shirt, you know, maybe a T-shirt. I'd rather be naked, quite honestly, you know, and I mean that, not on a sexual level, you know, even though, yeah, but I would rather be just perfect temperature, just being naked and saying, you know, I don't need clothes, this feels really good. And that's the way I live, and I go places, and I live places where it's like that. I drink tequila. I drink Wabaritas. My band, we sit around, we fish together, you know. We hang out at the club with the fans, sitting right there in the restaurant or right there in the bar when we're not playing, drinking Wabaritas and shooting, doing shots with the fans. I mean, you know, hundreds of them. And they're cool down there. They know this is Sammy's living room. Behave yourself, you know. When Sammy's here, when he ain't here, let's milk this place up.
Fans got their chance to wreak a little havoc at the Cabo Wabo Cantina in 2004 when Sammy Hagar rejoined the Van Halen ranks. They recorded 3 new songs for the double-disc greatest hits package, The Best of Both Worlds. And then they launched the highly anticipated and rather short-lived reunion tour. That tumultuous touring experience drove Sammy to his other retreat, Hawaii.
At the end of a tour, I go to Hawaii because I have a very secluded place there that no one is around. I mean, it's way out towards Hana. It's in the tropical jungle on a cliff over the ocean. I don't mean it's not no big fancy, you know, it's not no, it is a real getaway. And there I go naked for weeks at a time, but I have a little studio there. I have to have a studio where I am. It's what I do. I write songs, and if I get an inspiration and I have no way to do it, I'll go crazy. Because after a tour, the last thing I can do is go to Cabo. Cabo is my gearing up place. When I'm ready to rock, I go to Cabo. When I'm done rocking and I need a break, I go to Maui. Damn inspiration, you know, you beg for it to come, you sit there and beg for it, it doesn't show its beautiful face, and then you kick back, put your feet up, you know, roll a big fat bud, and all of a sudden, bam, you know, and then there you are, back at work. And I'm going, I don't want to work right now. I don't want to, but it kept coming, and I did it, and here I am. I don't feel like I had a break from the last tour. I'm happy about it, but it just seems like, wow, what a whirlwind that was.
Sammy Hagar didn't take much time off after Van Halen's reunion tour of 2004. He almost immediately entered his own studio in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, very near to his famous Cabo Wabo Cantina. He started working a new solo album, and now that album is finished. It's called Living It Up, and we'll hear about it next. I'm Joe Benson, and Sammy Hagar off the record. We'll be right back. Now, Sammy's latest solo album, Living It Up, is due to be released this summer. He recorded it at his brand new studio in Cabo San Lucas with his longtime band, guitarist Vic Johnson, bassist Mona, and drummer David Lauser. Among the songs on the new CD, a raucous cover of Bob Dylan's Rainy Day Women, Living on the Coastline, the title track, Living It Up, and the first single, Sam I Am.
That particular song was the last song we recorded, and that was co-written with my producer and his wife, that Bob and Nicole Daspit. They have a country band, and she didn't call it Sam I Am. That's what I am. She was saying, that's all I am. And she just came up with this kind of an idea, and she goes, I could really hear you singing this if I, used words like, some song titles. And she started singing some parts of it, and I go, oh, man, not just some song. You got like a straight shot shooter, a bad motor scooter. And she said, yeah, sunny honeymooner, yeah, heavy metal crooner. It was just boom, boom, boom. We wrote that song so fast on the telephone, I'm telling you. On the telephone. And I just said, I'll meet you down at the studio tomorrow. Let's do it. It was really great. That song was the last one. I wasn't going to put it on the... I didn't need another song. I had another song, and I was going to do it. But when I heard that, I said, this is the funnest song I've done in years. I love that song. We're going to open our show with it, by the way. Because Sam, I am. Bam, Well, I'm trying to be your... I've always said that a great singer can sing a bad lyric, and he won't sound like a great singer. A mediocre singer can sing a great lyric, and he can sound like a great singer. I'm not making fun of some rock and roll bands and stuff, but people like Mick Jagger, he's not like a Barbra Streisand or, Pavarotti, but when he's singing Satisfaction or Honky Tonk Woman or Start Me Up, man, he's a great singer, you know what I mean? Because he's singing a great lyric and a great song, and I think it really helps. So these lyrics on this record are so for real, and I'm just basically singing right to you. I'm not like reading some lyrics, or trying to make something up and trying to follow a melody. I'm singing exactly what I'm feeling. So, therefore, it's got a lot of passion. And everyone says, wow, your vocals sound so different, so good on this record. It's not like I'm singing better than I ever sing. I just think I wrote some songs that are just really all about me. So now you're really hearing me. You're really hearing me. You're hearing my lyric, and you're hearing my melody, and you're hearing my voice, all in tune with one another. It's not my voice singing some lyrics that I wrote, but just made up. I'm singing about myself. So that's about the best way I can describe it. And by doing one song at a time, once again, I focused on that song. I was singing that song. It was the only thing I was ever worried about in my life.
Sammy Hagar's new album is called Living It Up and should be out this summer. The Living It Up Summer Tour starts with a special 8-day, 7-night Cabo Wabo Are We Having Any Fun Yet cruise. The boat sets sail Sunday, April 23rd. The Living It Up Tour hits land May 5th in Lake Tahoe. Sammy Hagar.
The concept that I'm trying to do for this Living It Up tour is that every year on that same Saturday of that month, we're going to play the same place. I'm going to make it an annual thing. I've been wanting to do this my whole life this way, and we finally are in a position to do it. The Cabo Wabo Tequila thing has really put me in a position where I can make things happen now, because I don't have to do the tour for money. I can say, oh, no, promoter, you keep all the money. We just want to do this, okay? So it's really, really cool. And it's going to be an annual event. Anyway, it starts in Cabo San Lucas, and then we need a few days for the people to get back. And then we're start 2 weeks in Lake Tahoe, the Tahoe Wabo. We're going to play for 2 weeks, starting on May 5th. And then after that, we go into production rehearsals, and the first real amphitheater shows in San Bernardino at Blockbuster on June 2nd.
The Red Rocker is gearing up for his Living It Up summer tour, which starts next month. And like all Hagar tours, this one also promises not to disappoint. Sammy Hagar.
Radio stations will be there broadcasting. We'll have karaoke, and we're going to have this big stage we're trying to put together now, so we can have like one of my amplifiers and one of my guitars up there, and guys can go up on the stage and jam with the karaoke guy over there butchering the song and just really, really make a mess of everything. It's just going to be one big fun thing. You come in a car that's beach proof, like it looks Cabo-esque, like a surfboard on the roof, or a Woody, or a convertible, or just a badass muscle car. We have special parking for you, all roped off, so people can go look at your cars. It's just going to be like an all-day fun day. And then at 6 o'clock, doors open. 8 o'clock, I go on stage. About 9:30, Michael Anthony comes out, and we do the other half, play an hour of Van Halen. And then, then we do the grand finale and the encores, and we take it to Cabo. And by the time you're done, you're going to be going home. Oh, and the most important thing about this tour here is you buy 4 tickets, you get 1 free for a designated driver, and that person cannot drink. They get banded, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be really cool, so that you can come and just get ripped and have a blast. You can think you died and went to Cabo, And, you know, next morning you're going to wake up and think that you might have died, you want to die. But we're only playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, we're going to play like a little place like a Hard Rock or a House of Blues someplace, really quiet shows, and a lot of people just kind of local, nobody knows about, you know, just kind of surprise performances and have fun with it. I've added more palm trees. And I'm a little bit more room for more people on stage, because the more the merrier for me, honestly. And, you know, the cantina side of the stage is still pretty much the same. But now we have a couple trucks full of other things that we're going to put in the venues, so that, you know, when you get there at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to be grilling shrimp, tacos, and carnitas, and Mexican street food. Basic Cabo street food is going to be served. You're going to be tequila tents, you know, wobble-rita tents, a volleyball court with sand, a mariachi band strolling around, sun tanning booths, not booths, but, you know, lounge chairs where people lay around, they spray up with suntan lotion, wear bikinis, you know, any garb, you know, for me, you know, long pants are optional. If you must, okay. If you got the ugliest legs in the world, fine, put some jeans on them suckers, but otherwise, do not wear anything that covers up any, you know, leave more skin, more better.
Van Halen bassist Michael Anthony will be joining Sammy Hagar in the upcoming Livin' It Up summer tour. The two former bandmates are reuniting as the other half, and will do at least an hour's worth of Van Halen songs at each stop on the tour. Sammy Hagar.
For me, the only time I like to play Van Halen is either with Van Halen or when Mikey comes and joins me when I'm on tour. You know, he comes out a lot and comes to Cabo a lot. When he comes, we play more Van Halen than Sammy's stuff, you know, and I feel good about that. I think, hey, we're the half. That's where he came with the other half. It's half the damn band, you know. I wrote half the songs, you know, so I'm going, I feel okay about it. Without Mike, I've always had a problem playing too many Van Halen songs unless I change them, you know, the way I do right now and the way I've done Finish What You Started over the years. Everybody knows I've really changed them. Like, it's like you almost don't recognize it, but you do, you know. And so I've always tried to just make them my own to feel comfortable. But with Mike, I feel comfortable. So it's great. So the other half is just, it's for those horny Van Halen fans that are going, you know, there may not ever be another one. I'm not saying there ain't. I ain't saying there is. There's certainly not one in the drawing board right now. So this is for them, and it's for us. Mike and I like to sing them songs and play them. You know, hey, we miss it too, you know. So we're going to go out and try to not pretend to be Van Halen whatsoever, but, you know, try to do them songs justice. I've heard them played worse, let me tell you. We're even going to do a couple Roth era songs. Mike's going to sing them. I hate to give that away, but, you know, I don't like doing those songs when I'm in Van Halen because I don't like singing them. You know, I didn't write them, and it's like, you know, the lyrics are a little hard for me to put my heart and soul into some of them, but the songs are cool. So Mikey, he gets to sing, so he's happy, so we'll let him, I'll sing the harmony, and you know, we're just going to have so much fun doing this. We could be playing Jimmy Buffett songs for anybody. They ain't going to care what we play, quite honestly.
Sammy Hagar's Livin' It Up summer tour kicks off on May 5th at the Cabo Wabo Cantina in Lake Tahoe, California. And the Livin' It Up album should be out sometime this summer. Go to redrocker.com for more information. Sammy Hagar Off the Record was written and produced by Stacy Parra. Production and engineering by Ron Harris, assisted by Dave Amaya. Executive producer Norm Pattis. Special thanks to Westwood One's Stephanie and Stephen Cosio. Off the Record was brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. I'm Joe Benson. You can email me at unclejoe@unclejoe.com. And I'll see you next week for a special Off the Record featuring the music of Jackson Browne, Don Henley, and Fleetwood Mac, and my exclusive conversation with producer Greg Ladani.